So hello, everybody. So you did it already, Betty. You introduced myself. So as you said, I'm Belgian, but I live in Barcelona since now 25 years. And I have now 18 years experience in innovation, helping companies to foster innovation and creative thinking. And it's from that company called Inteligencia Creativa that what we did is to gamify our methodologies. So to gamify the tools that we are using with the companies to help them to foster innovation, and we transform them into serious games. So we started with a physical game in 2016, the first game to be played in a meeting room, competing. I will show you some images, and then we launched digital games that we are mainly using during the last 2 years, as you can imagine, because of the pandemic. So these are some of the companies we've been working with in different countries, a lot of sectors, and in these companies, a lot of departments and different challenges, because this methodology is working on any kind of challenge. Could be a challenge, whatever, logistics, sales, product development, communication, HR, whatever. No, so what is the methodology behind our games? Is that one? No, it's the problem solving, or you can call it design thinking or whatever. It's how to generate solutions, innovative solutions to any kind of challenge. So it's starting, as you see, not by idea generation. So the first step is not brainstorming. The first step, probably for me, according to my experience, the most important one is reframing the problem. Because if you have the same question, the probability to get you get the same answer is quite high. So the best way to open new ways and to find new solutions is first to have a new vision of your problem, to look for new questions. So that's the first step of an innovation process. I will show you that with each game in a moment with some examples. So that's the first step of the problem solving or innovation process. The second one is idea generation. And then also very important, the convergence phase, no? Because once you have 2 lines on a post-it, there is still a big jump between 2 lines on a post-it and implementation. So that's why after so many brainstormings, people are doing nothing with the ideas because they don't know how to start and how to implement them. So it's quite important to make the ideas more specific, to transform them into solutions, to define the first experiments, and also to define the pitch to defend your ideas. So this is the methodology that we are using since many years. And what we did is to add the benefits of gamification. I think I don't have to come back to that today because we have people with a lot of experience on gamification, but that's the perfect mix. I would say the benefits of gamification are especially relevant for innovation because it's really helping people to go further, because instead of being careful or being politically correct when they play, they forget that. They forget their boss is in the meeting. They forget that maybe it's a crazy idea. They just go further because maybe they get 2 points. No, so it's not that when you use gamification in innovation, it's you have more fun and you have team building. You have it, but that's also the the output is better. Is more disruptive. Sorry again. That's it. So you are more disruptive. Our experience now is that really the ideas coming out of a process when it's gamified are really more disruptive in average than in a normal process. So when could you use gamification in that process? You can use it through the whole process, the entire process of innovation, but there are specific moments where I think it's perfect to use it. First, for example, you can gamify the kickoff of an innovation process, or if you have, for example, you launch a new campaign, innovation campaign in a company, you want to motivate people, to involve people at the beginning of your campaign, for example, to transform the culture, or simply an innovation process. You can use it as a kickoff. You will have a benefit that people will be motivated because it's fun, but also they will have an idea that with a methodology they can go further and find new ideas, and then they will start to see the methodology and you can go further in the project later, because you have also filled up in the pipeline with a lot of contents and a lot of ideas. So it's a good moment to use gamification, kickoff of innovation process. Another one, to reframe. As I told you, for me, it's a key moment. Look at the problem, don't jump directly into idea generation, and you can use gamification to open your mind and to give you a new vision on the problem. I will show you some example in a moment. ID generation, that's obvious. It can help you your inspiration. If you are playing, you will be more creative. Also to define experiments, and then you can of course use it through the whole methodology, to the whole process. For example, what we do, even if we do a process like, for example, design thinking, we start each phase of the design thinking process with a game. So it's a very good way to fill in each step of the innovation process with a lot of contents to start it. And sometimes also we are doing everything only with the games. We start with a challenge. At the beginning, we end up with ideas ready to be implemented, going just from one game to another without the need of further methodologies or tools. I will show you some example. But first, what is the best way to use gamification? At gamification, you have different options always. No, you can give a briefing to an agency that will develop a tailor-made game for you, or you can use existing games. Both are working, but I would say in innovation, as you will have to come back and work on different challenges, it's easier to work on an existing game, but an existing game that is allowing you to make a customized experience, which means that you can put your challenge at the beginning of the game and then work on that challenge. So for example, when you have simulations is good innovation, for example, to train the skills, to train innovation skills, and you have the key messages, and I will show you some example of very good simulations on the market. But of course, simulation is a simulation, so you cannot produce results and ideas on your topic, on your challenge in your company, because everything is already given. So there are other games. I will show you some examples. We have some where you can put your challenge and then the game is working on your challenge. So it's really tailor-made all the ideas or the solutions that you can produce. And then you have to choose also between one-to-one games or co-creation in teams. Gamification, from my experience, most of the games are one-to-one. And I would say for the innovation, that's not the best solution, because you will not innovate alone in front of your screen. Even with a good game, innovation should be in teams, should be done in teams, because, for example, you need diversity, you need diverse profiles to help you to be more creative. So you need really a gamification that allow you to play in teams and not only one against the machine as a video game going to the next screen. And there are not so many games that can be played in teams. So I will show you some examples. These are examples, for example, in kickoff events. The one there is our games from Binnacle. It's called Binnacle the Expedition. You see there is a big board and people are competing, teams are competing. They're competing in teams, and they start with a challenge, and then they have to cross the different areas of the island that you see on the board, which are the different parts of the process. You have an area which is reframing the program, another is ID generation, and then they are entering a competition and generating contents, and people get because it's the money in Binnacle, depending on different criteria. One is the volume of contents that they are producing, number of questions, number of IDs, for example. The second one is quality after quantity, because in innovation, quality is coming from quantity. If you have 10 IDs, probability you have a good one is higher than if you have only 4. No, that's why we give awards for quantity. Then quality is the IDs with more votes are receiving Bickles, and then also ingenuity, because you have a lot of small enigmas to solve and small games to do. That's an example. That's a physical game. We've not been using it a lot. You can imagine during the pandemic, but now it's coming back. And then we have that one is also ours. It's quite similar, but it's online. And you see another example here. It's a game from a company in Scandinavia. So you can use it you can create really good events, both online or in person, using games for kickoff event on innovation. Then simulations. Simulations are okay to develop skills, but not to give you a solution. Here you have a couple of examples that are very good for me. Both are from Scandinavia. This one is from a company called Strategy Tools, and Scale Up is also a very, very good tool. But you can develop skills, but you cannot go further. You cannot really generate solutions on your problem. No. So you have others that are adapted to the company, because what you do is you put your problem at the beginning, and then they work on your problem. So this is ours, the one I've been explaining. And you have another one. This is from a company coming from India, Knowscape. They are they are developing very good games. And one of these is, for example, you say about the design thinking. They have one where you can work on the challenge. So I was telling you that also reframing the problem is a good moment to use a game. We developed a good one there, which is Mission Zero. We called it Zero because it's a starting point. And you see that it's a digital game, but you can both use it in online or in person. You just give tablets to the different teams, and you start with a problem. And it's like an ID. It's not an ID generation; it's a question generation. It's like a brainstorming of questions. So you end up with a lot of questions, different questions, to be sure that you have all the possible views on your problem, and then you can select the best questions, the new entrances to your problem to optimize the ID generation phase. So that's the one called Mission Zero. I think it's the only one. That's what is the only one I put in the image, because I don't know any other game working on specifically on reframing the problem. Then on ID generation, you have more choice. There are more things in the market. Since years, you have ID cards like this, for example, from IDEO, or these from No-Brainer, sorry. They are helping you to be more creative. Because why? Because they have images, and images can boost your imagination. So you can be more creative using images than just starting from scratch or using words. So that's what is existing since years, and it's working. And we developed a digital game to optimize your brainstorming or your co-creation session, the ID generation part of the process. It's called BIC, with K from Binnacle, BIC ID. You see it here. It's also digital, so it's a mission. You go in the jungle, you have to find different stalls with creativity tools, and you have to generate then ideas on your challenge. Teams are competing also for the same, for BICles, and they get BICles with the same criteria. And then another one I was saying at the beginning on the process is for the conversions phase. And there, for example, what we did is to develop not yet a video game, but it's a gamified methodology that we built on Mural. Could work also on Mural. And so you see you have the different areas for the players to work on. It's also by teams, and then you have enigmas, you have videos. It's also gamified. But let's say it's not a video game, it's a gamified methodology that we are using there. It's working very well. It's also the only one I know there at this level about conversion. So there is a lot of gamification, for example, on HR topics, on selection, or even the process when you hire employees at the beginning. You have a lot of games there, but there are not so many things on innovation as gamification is concerned. So you have these mainly on ID generation, but not a lot of things. So as I was telling you, you can use also for the whole process of a design thinking process, for example, or for hackathons, both online and in person. We did a lot of hackathons online, which is not easy, especially online. I think gamification is bringing even more value when you are online, because online it's more difficult to do it, to do a co-creation session, for example, to motivate and involve people when they are on a small screen, in a small window, and probably half of them looking at the emails or WhatsApp or whatever. It's not easy. So what we saw is when they are playing, they are really involved. They are not looking at the mail even when they are online. So I think the gamification is really bringing even more value when people are in hybrid environment or online environments. And I wanted to keep some minutes for the Q&A. So I think it's the moment maybe to put in the chat some questions. Yes, Betty was telling me you have 2 minutes. Yeah, these 2 minutes for questions. Maybe I stop sharing.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing the slides for you.
Yeah, I did already.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Philippe. So fantastic, thank you, and I appreciate there's a lot to get into a short space of time. So Philippe, just give us an idea of what things are like now. So is the project continuing? Is it pausing and then restarting? Where are things now, the project?
The project, you mean, or the business in general, the clients and the people doing innovation, or project? What is your question about?
So the gamification project itself.
Okay, so now we are in developing. We are in the rollout process, international rollout process, because we started with the physical game 5 years ago. 3 years ago, we started with the digital games. It's of course it's easier to have a roll up and to scale with digital than with a physical game that you have to send and then to train the people. And now we have already partners in different countries. We started with a very strong one in Australia, for example, Imagination, with maybe you know Janet Cernak. It's a very strong actor in innovation in Australia and in Asia in general. And so now that we have the games to make the whole innovation process, we are going to the international rollout. So we started 1 year ago, little by little. You know, with the pandemic, it was not easy, but the good thing is that online there is no distance. And now we are in contact to start with partners also in India, in Scandinavia, in UK, in Canada, and that's the step that we are in for the moment. So companies can they can use directly the games from us, or they can contact one of the partners and work with one of the partners in those countries.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Philippe. And yes, of course, if anybody wants to speak to Philippe more, please do get in touch. I give the information on how you can contact our speakers on the Gamification Europe website. So we'll say goodbye to you for now, Philippe.
Thank you.